Hi, starting out solitary, welcome back. This week we are talking about ways to deal with spiritual bigotry. So for those of you who might not know what bigotry actually means, basically it is a prejudice against another religion or incapability of seeing another's perspective. As pagans, and specifically those of us who have converted, we tend to have a lot of, especially if you are newer to the transition, you tend to have a lot of residual Christian ideologies or feelings about things. You may struggle with certain practices. However, as someone who has been pagan for a very long time, I find that there are things that I dislike, but it's very frequent, given where I live and where I'm moving, that I experience bigotry. And for me, I just take a moment, and it's taken me a long time. I mean, I'm an Aries. I have a quick fire temper. It's pretty explosive. And for me, it's taken a long time to train myself that these people don't understand where I'm coming from, nor do they care to understand. So I can't explain something to them that they don't care to know about. And so for me, it's just easier to resolve that they have not gotten to the point in their life where they are willing or open to have someone challenge them. So I just let them, I'm not going to change their opinion. There's this saying, I'll have to look it up. But it's basically, there are two things you can't change. Mother Nature and people unwilling to change. It's like trying to stop water from flowing. I'll look it up. So for me, although it's extremely annoying and it gets me very riled up, I just find it's easier to not engage. Like, okay, I respect that you don't agree with me, but I won't sit here and allow you to spout off whatever the hell you feel you need to spout off, because you're not going to change my mind. Like, I've spent the time, I've done the research, this is how I feel about certain things, and nothing anyone says or does really is going to change my mind and my perception about how things work, especially in a spiritual realm. I think the more, in my experience, the more orthodox or more observant I find someone is, the more jaded their feelings are. And this isn't the case with everyone, but as a general rule, I find that the more you dive into one specific thing, the more you get riled up when people rally against it. I think that's just human nature. That is the nature of the beast that we're talking about. We're trying to take divinity, or the lack thereof, depending on your viewpoint, and we're trying to describe it by man-made concepts that can't expand into the spaces where divinity lives. And so it's really easy for us to get caught up in, well, here's this train of thought, or here's this train of thought. In all actuality, we're using concepts that don't necessarily apply to divinity or spirituality. Again, spirituality is such an expansive thing, it's hard to pinpoint it with mere human words. And so it's easy to find yourself finding prejudice and bigotry within that realm. I think it's just part of how we as humans understand things. And some people have a hard time stepping outside what they understand to experience other people's perspective. And I think that's part of why our job is so important. It gives people the opportunity, without having head-on arguments, to expose small portions of our own lives and our own perspectives to people that don't necessarily understand us. So, that's my little ramble. I will see you guys next week when we dive into the next topic here on Starting Out Solitary.